Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and welcome back to yet another video where we are taking a look at the Pro Football Focus rankings here on the wide receiver position today. Now, I expect the Bucs to do pretty darn well in this one. You have Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin. Honestly, both of those guys should be in like the top 25 at least, in my opinion. Mike Evans, I think, is still a top 10 wide receiver in this league, so I'm going to be curious to see where Pro Football Focus has them ranked. But of course, as we've done in the past, I want to take a look and see if there are any, or, which NFC South wide receivers are in this list as well. Because again, top 32, there's a lot of wide receivers in the league, so there may not even be some NFC South wide receivers on this list going forward. So let's go ahead and take a look, starting off with the Carolina Panthers. Do they have anybody on this list? They don't. No Carolina Panthers to be found on this list, so bit of an interesting note there. Let's take a look next at the New Orleans Saints. They have Chris Olave coming in here at number 27. Interesting place here for Chris Olave. I feel like a lot of people are hyping him up for this upcoming season. We will see if he actually is able to be that guy going forward. But only one wide receiver on here for the Saints. Interesting thing to note. Of course, right above Chris Olave, you do have Drake London. I am going to be curious to see if the Falcons do have any other wide receivers. No, they just have Drake London in there. So Drake London and Chris Olave right next to each other at 26 and 27 respectively. Those are the two number one wide receivers for the Bucs division rivals, and no Carolina Panthers wide receivers on this list. And both those guys are good young wide receivers. It's going to be interesting to see how those guys do. But let's take a look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do they have any wide receivers on this list? Firstly, Mike Evans coming in here at number 20, and Chris Godwin coming in at 31. Okay, interesting. Mike Evans coming in at number 20. I don't agree. I don't agree. I do not. Let's take a look at the guys who are above Mike Evans. Amari Cooper, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins, Devonta Smith, Nico Collins, Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Ayuk, Amon-Ra St. Brown. By the way, kind of crazy that the 49ers have two wide receivers in the top 10. The Bucs have been in that situation in the past. CeeDee Lamb all the way up here at number 4. Goodness. I don't know, man. Like, I'd probably put him at like 14. Probably. Maybe 12. I would probably put him above DJ Moore. Maybe I would put him above Puka Nacua as well. I think Mike Evans should be at number 12. I think that's a fair ranking for Mike Evans. That's what I believe. To say that Nico Collins, Garrett Wilson, some of these other guys are like above Mike Evans, I just don't think it's accurate. I think that Evans is the king of consistency. I mean, and that's something that they've like said in the past as well. Like, well, these guys are so consistent. They're just so good. And then like, it doesn't apply to Mike Evans. So like, I don't know, but I think, dude, Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie coming in at 21. Holy crap. That's crazy. Yeah. I would have Mike Evans at 12 first and foremost. Okay. I'd put him above Hopkins at this point in his career. Hopkins feels a little bleh. I'd put him above Collins, Garrett Wilson. I'd probably put him above Puka Nacua, and DJ Moore. After that, look, like Diggs, Samuel, Cooper Kupp, Ayuk, like those guys are all really good receivers, right? I would still put him at 12. I feel like Mike Evans deserves that ranking. He's still so freaking good, and I think this just goes to show that he's continuing to be underrated, in my opinion. But then Chris Godwin coming in here at 31. That's kind of wild. Now look, kudos to the Bucs for having two wide receivers in the top 32. That's not an easy thing to have. But like Godwin being like, you have George Pickens, Rome Odunze, a rookie above Chris Godwin. I'd probably put Godwin at like 25. I'd put him above Malik Neighbors. I would probably put him above Drake London and Chris Olave. I would put him above Michael Pittman Jr. I'd put him above Rome Odunze and George Pickens. I feel like 25 is a good spot for Godwin. I do. Did he have a bit of a down year last year? Yes, part of that was his usage in the offense as well. But like, I still think he's a number one on a good amount of teams, in my opinion. Like, he'd be a solid number one. I think he'd be a number one on the Colts. I think he'd be a number one on the Saints, the Falcons, obviously the Panthers, would be a number one on the Giants. Like, that's just the way I feel, man. It's the way I feel. So, like, I'd have Mike Evans at 12. I would have Chris Godwin at 25, probably. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts and opinions about this. Marvin Harrison Jr., look, I love Marvin Harrison Jr. Dude's going to be a beast. But to already have him as the 21st best wide receiver in the NFL before he's even played a snap in this league, it's kind of wild. And also with a few of the rookie wide receivers in that mix. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I'm going to be curious to get your guys' thoughts and opinions about this as well. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section down below. Do you agree with these rankings of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Do you disagree? If so, why do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear them. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.